Welcome to another episode, everyone. Dr. Umar addresses Jay-Z being in the Epstein files. Yes, Jay-Z indeed is in the Epstein files. Dr. Umar has a strong opinion on that, as he does always about many things. Dr. Umar says that Jay-Z needs to leave a legacy in the black community, that all rappers, since they help lead to the destruction of the black community, to mass incarceration, that they all owe reparations to the black community. All rappers do. He speaks about Oprah and others and their duty to the black community. Interested to know what you all think about this one.
How you feel about all these people that's coming at Jay?
Okay. Initially, I kind of understood it when he was named, unjustifiably named. Jay-Z was unjustifiably named in the Epstein file because of a random police report that was made against him that has been unsubstantiated and without evidence. And the way in which they clumped the Epstein files in with other FBI leads in reports, it made it look like Jay-Z was part of the Epstein files. So that was wrong, and I think the government did it on purpose to try to take some of the heat off of the 300 millionaire billionaires that are caught up in the Epstein scandal. So initially, Art, understanding black people like to react before we reason. We love to react before we reason. So initially I said, okay, black folks are already jumping on Jay-Z, not even knowing the whole story. But once it was clarified by the FBI that there were random, non-related, unsubstantiated, uninvestigated reports to the FBI involving celebrities that had nothing to do with the Epstein trial or file, I thought black people would have left the brother alone, and they didn't. I just think people are jealous of Jay-Z and Beyonce because they've been winning for so long. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Jay-Z needs to start thinking about what legacy he wants to leave within the black community beyond music. Because for him to be the richest musician in the world, I believe, black or white, I believe he's the richest musician in the world, black or white, he needs to leave a legacy. So whether he's going to open a college, a school, a bank, a hospital, a franchise of supermarkets, a distribution network, some manufacturing plants to give us jobs and provide us with the resources we need.
Interested to know what you all think about that. And what about the school that you were building, Dr. Umar? What about your school? Now, you're not a billionaire, but he received millions of dollars in donations from the black community to build this school, the Frederick Douglass Academy or something. And then it went bankrupt, or he went bankrupt and all of this a year or so ago. And the school has never come to fruition, and it's been a while, but that's okay. I mean, this is not about Dr. Umar. It's about Jay-Z for right now. But I have a question about that. That's all. And this is the art of the dialogue right here. The art of the dialogue. That's YouTube channel, the art of the dialogue. Shout out to them. Let's continue.
I don't know how Jay is going to handle this, but he's getting older. Although still a young man, he ain't going nowhere no time soon. But if he leaves this earth, and again, he ain't going nowhere no time soon, but if he leaves this earth having not done anything for black people except pay for some activists to get out of jail and pay for a couple documentaries to be made about the victims of police violence, that's not going to be enough. That's not, as a billionaire, you can't just pay for a few Black Lives Matter activists to get out of jail and pay for a couple of documentaries about unalived American Africans who were taken out by the police. That's not enough for a billionaire. But he's not alone, Art. Tyler Perry has to think about that legacy. Oprah has to think about that legacy. Rihanna, Kanye, Tiger Woods, now Dr. Dre, right? And given the role Dr. Dre played in Snoop, and I love them both, they my brothers, but given the role they played in helping that Bill Clinton crime bill get passed with the Chronic and Doggy Style album coming out right around the time that the crime bill floating through Congress, they owe some reparations anyway. I think all rappers owe reparations to the black community. Let me just say that, Art. Let me just say, all black rappers, successful rappers, multi-platinum, multi-million dollar earning rappers, they owe reparations to the black community, internal reparations, because of the role they played to reduce the black excellence that our ancestors were so dedicated to. The drinking, the smoking, the sex, the violence, the promotion of conspicuous consumption, a promotion of mass incarceration. I've said it before, Art. Gangster rap is the soundtrack for mass incarceration. Gangster rap is the soundtrack for mass incarceration. It was yesterday, it is today, and it will be tomorrow. And the gangster rappers need to be held accountable. I think the black church needs to pay reparations for all the money they've taken and have given us nothing. I think black actors owe reparations. I think the black fraternities and sororities owe reparations, for all the success that they've enjoyed, but not really have done much, substantially speaking, for the black community. To be honest with you, we all owe ourselves reparations. And that's why I'm a bigger fan of internal reparations, Art, than I am external reparations. We can do far more for ourselves together than the white man could ever do for us from the outside.
But speaking on Jay, to stay on him for a little while, how you feel about?
Yeah, sort of, but we are still indeed owed reparations. Okay, interested to know what you all think about that so far. He says Tyler Perry, Oprah, Rihanna, Kanye West, Jay-Z, all need to begin to think about their legacy. Snoop Dogg, and that they all need to do more for the black community with their riches, with their wealth. And a part of his point clearly is that they got this wealth from the black community, supporting them and supporting their content and their careers, and that they helped to destroy the black community, helped to lead to mass incarceration and such with their music, with their rhetoric. They promoted violence in the culture, which helped to lead and aid mass incarceration in the community. This is true, of course, and the record companies have already been exposed as individuals that were targeting the black community with some of these lyrics to influence them to commit crimes and send them to the prison industrial complex. It's all been exposed. Black people are indeed under attack and have been in every avenue of this society. But some people are going to have the belief, I'm sure, that it's their money and they can do whatever they want to do with their money. He says that he likes Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, that these are his brothers. And for me, this is probably part of the problem. Dr. Umar, he's good, he's cool, he's okay. But he's not militant enough for me at all. Because Snoop Dogg had said back in 2016 that anyone who performs for Donald Trump is a sellout. I saw the footage. Then, of course, he performed for Donald Trump. All of these individuals end up selling out and selling us out. And so how can they be a friend of yours if you are a black liberationist and if you're a black activist, a militant one? Then you disassociate with individuals who are going to help to bring the movement down with their coonery and with their raccoonery. And this dude, Dr. Dre, of course, when he did have a black woman, all he did was abuse her. And other than that, these individuals, they don't date black women. They don't like black women. None of them. So Snoop Dogg is married to one, but whatever, so what? They don't like black women. They don't like themselves. They don't like black people like that. So to hell with all of them.
about, him picking Bad Bunny for the Super Bowl and him performing at the halftime and, the backlash he got and, how you feel about that?
In my opinion, Art, I do not think Bad Bunny's selection as the last Super Bowl's halftime performer was a Jay-Z decision. I don't. I believe Roger Goodell stepped in and said, since you let Kendrick call Drake a PDF file on national TV, we are going to exercise executive control of our league, and we're going to choose the next artist. And we're going to deliberately choose somebody that doesn't fit the typical Jay-Z R&B hip hop selection. And I believe the Bad Bunny selection, Art, was partially influenced by Donald Trump's Latin American agenda. You're not going to tell me that Cuba is without electric and fuel because Donald Trump kidnapped the president of Venezuela, and Venezuela was one of Cuba's main trading partners, Art. So now that Trump then took over Venezuela, he's now sabotaging Cuba. And I believe America, Art, and I hate to say this because I know the Cuban people are a proud people. I'm 1/8 Cuban. One of my great-great-grandparents was a Cuban. My great-grandfather Cicero. Okay. And I hate to say this, but
excuse me, he's 1/8 Cuban. What the hell?
But if Cuba does not get it together, Art, Cuba will be a colony of the United States of America. Remember, this not only goes back to former President John F. Kennedy, this goes back to one of the presidents during slavery who out or right after slavery, maybe during Reconstruction, or one of the presidents of the United States tried to buy Cuba for the United States. I don't know if you know this. They offered a cash purchase. Yes, one of the presidents of the United States offered a cash purchase for Cuba. America has always wanted Cuba, but they can never get it under Castro. And now, Art, I think they smell blood because sabotaging Venezuela, they automatically sabotage Cuba. And I'm going to go out on a limb, Art. I'm going to go out on a limb. Kidnapping President Maduro of Venezuela, Art, could have been more about sabotaging Cuba than Venezuela. Look at the chess pieces. Look at the chess move. Cuba is right off the coast of America. Cuba and Haiti, the two closest islands to America. They already got Haiti. Even though my Haitian Africans, we're going to keep fighting until Haiti is free, right? But America is already controlling the politics of Haiti. If she can get Cuba too, look at that expansion for white power. And then they just took over.
This is nothing new, though. This is nothing new.
Venezuela. And you know how they didn't support the Puerto Ricans during that earthquake that struck Puerto Rico in 2020. America was slow to respond to the Puerto Rican family down there. Shout out to all my Puerto Rican Africans down there. So I believe, to your question, Art, that Roger Goodell and Donald Trump chose Bad Bunny to put some icing over the rotten cake of America's Latin American agenda. Let's smooth this over. Let's make it look like we care about Latin America by giving them Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl because we just kidnapped one president in Mexico. We sabotaging the society in another country in Cuba. We never do nothing for the Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico. So I believe that was strategy, Art. That was nothing but.
I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Dr. Umar does have a lot of conspiracies. He believed that Michael Jackson's death was caused by a certain group of people because he wanted the rights to his music. He says the same thing about Whitney Houston, that her death was not an accident, and many other situations and many other celebrities I've heard him speak on. And he has these sort of conspiracy theories, if you will. Jay-Z is indeed the individual charged with picking the performer for the Super Bowl halftime. But Dr. Umar said, and Jay-Z, saying that he picked Bad Bunny for this. Dr. Umar, as we hear, is saying that he does not believe that. He does not believe that Jay-Z made that decision, that it went all the way up to the top. Roger Goodell, NFL commissioner, and Donald Trump even made the decision to allow Bad Bunny to perform at the Super Bowl to, as he said, put icing over a rotten cake to placate the Hispanic community. Who knows?
Psychosurgery, superficial surgery to make the world think America cares about Latin America as America goes in to invade Latin America. And don't forget the Monroe Doctrine, right? President Monroe. The Monroe Doctrine said to the whole world, nobody can take Latin America but the United States of America. This is what America said. That's why, Art, you don't see nobody invading Latin American countries, because the U.S. government says basically we are a protectorate over the entire Latin America. Nobody can colonize, invade, or steal from Latin American countries but us. So Bad Bunny's performance was supposed to smooth over the public relations nightmare that America's name is receiving in Latin America. But let me say this, Art. Let me say this. A lot of people took issue with Bad Bunny's performance. I did not. I supported it. Even black people was complaining that he performed in Spanish. So what? The United States of America has never had an official language, Art, until Donald Trump made English the official language not that long ago. English doesn't become the official language of the United States until Donald Trump. So if this country does not have an official language, Art, how can you get mad at Bad Bunny for doing the Super Bowl performance in Spanish? I had no problem with it. That man put Latin America on his back and he wrecked them, Art. He showed you the trucks they drive, the liquor they drink, the card games they play, the dominoes. He had the blue collar workers working on the electric pole. He had them picking the fruit. He even had a marriage out there. He had some LGBT stuff in there I didn't appreciate. But Art, he took every aspect of grassroots Latino culture and he put it in America's face, spoke Spanish to do it, and he did it unapologetically. So I support what Bad Bunny did. That was the Puerto Rican version.
Absolutely. Bad Bunny had a great performance there at the Super Bowl, and many individuals did not like that performance, not just some black individuals that he mentioned that did not like the fact that he performed in his native language, but there were many individuals that were making content and making videos about it and essentially saying that he had no right to perform over here in this country. They were upset about it. You all know who they were. They were not happy. But generally speaking, of course, black people supported Bad Bunny, believing that Jay-Z, of course, had put him there to perform. Not so sure about that. And Jay-Z and Beyonce, they have been winning for a very long time. But she's also in the Epstein files. It's Beyonce, allegedly. There's a lot going on with these celebrities and the way that they comport themselves. And a lot of it is going to be exposed soon. So we'll see.
Of Pan-Africanism. And then at the end of the performance, he shouted out all the Latin American countries to let everybody know that this wasn't just about Puerto Rico. This is about the entire Latin America. So I appreciate what he did for his people, bro. Remember, Art, the United States government tested their birth control pills on Puerto Rican women in the 1950s without their permission. That's right. Our Puerto Rican African sisters were experimented on by this government. Don't forget, during World War II, they experimented on the Puerto Rican people again, Art. with radioactive materials. So the Puerto Rican African family, they have caught their fair share of hell. And don't forget the bloqueamiento, when they went down there and brought white people into Puerto Rico after slavery ended. And Puerto Rican slavery ended yesterday, I believe it was. Yesterday or the day before in 1873. So Puerto Rican slavery lasted 8 years longer than American slavery. And after it ended, Art, they imported Spanish in there to sleep with the black women, to lighten up the complexion of the Puerto Ricans, which is exactly what's happening in Black America today. Black men are bunny hopping, black women are bunny hopping, and we're lightening up our complexion so much that one day we will no longer identify as black. There will be no black freedmen in America. There will be no black America at all if we keep on mixing our seed outside of our community. And let me go here, Art, one time. Donald Trump wants the world to think that he invaded Mexico because Mexico wasn't doing anything about his drug cartels. And you know, when Donald Trump took office, Art, the same day he got sworn in, this term, he designated drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, FT.
Yeah, of course, because he's a racist president, and yet but they voted for him, and he refuses. The FBI's data indicates that the biggest threat to the country are white supremacist groups. They have been labeled homegrown terrorists, but nothing is ever done about it. They label these other groups as terrorists to justify their diabolical approach to these groups to lay them down. But it's all smoke and mirrors. Because the most violent group in the country are white supremacists, and that's just the bottom line. It's nothing. It's not the Mexican mafia. It's not the black mafia. White supremacists. It's not any black so-called racial group, racist group. It's white supremacists, and white supremacy is the biggest threat to the country from inside of the country. This is what the investigative efforts of the government dictates. These are just the facts. But we all know, excuse me, why Donald Trump is invading these countries. And we all know if Donald Trump was not upset about Bad Bunny performing, if he put him up to it, as Dr. Umar here suggests, if he was in on that decision, then him acting like he was upset about Bad Bunny performing was just a performance on his part. It was all a hoax, a lie, a ploy, a ruse. If he was not upset and really agreed to this, he sanctioned it according to Dr. Umar. Donald Trump did. Bad Bunny performing there at the Super Bowl halftime. He was in cahoots with Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, and agreed to this. He subscribed to the whole notion.
He's the first president in American history to designate drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And the reason he did that, Art, is to justify going into Mexico. Now, why did he want to go to Mexico, Art? Who has the largest oil reserve on the planet Earth? Mexico. Why is Donald Trump bombing Iran, Art? Who has the third largest oil reserve in the world? Iran. Who has the second, Art? Saudi Arabia, an American ally. Let's look at the 10 top oil companies, Art. This is not in order. Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Kuwait, Iraq. Wait a minute, Art. Didn't George Herbert Walker Bush have Operation Desert Storm, invading Kuwait to make the world safe for democracy? That wasn't for democracy, Art. That was for oil. Kuwait is top 10. And didn't his son come back 13 years later? George W. Bush, 13 years after his father invaded Kuwait for oil, the son invades Iraq for oil. Look at it.
Yes, we know, of course, that all of these invasions, for the most part, involve oil or some other resource that the country possesses. It's all in the name of money. This is a foregone conclusion.
Look at it. Art, if you look at the 10 top oil producing countries in the world, they are either in bed with America or they have been bombed by America. Let me
Yes.
say it again. The top 10 largest oil producing countries in the world, they are either in bed with America or they have been bombed by America.
Yes.
Why did Donald Trump bomb northern Nigeria a couple of weeks of Christmas Day? December 25th, 2025, Donald Trump bombed northern Nigeria. He said ISIS was up there terrorizing black Nigerian Christians. So he bombed ISIS. No, Nigeria is number 11, Art, largest oil producing nation in the world. If you care about Nigerian Christians, why you don't care about the genocide in Sudan? You don't.
Of course, he doesn't care about they never in Rwanda either. They never cared about that genocide. So the implication here then is that America is bombing and killing. Understand, when he says bombing, when we're talking about bombs being dropped, we're talking about mass death of innocent children, women, civilians, individuals who have nothing to do with the oil over there. We're talking about mass deaths, a lot of deaths when you drop a bomb, killing off whole neighborhoods, whole cities, blowing up everything. All in the name of oil, according to Dr. Umar, and according to myself, it's all in the name of oil, all for money, but they'll call you the criminal. They accuse you of being a criminal. You go out in the street and try to get your money, but these individuals will blow up a whole country for oil, for money. Who are the real criminals?
Don't care about the genocide in Sudan because the United Arab Emirates, UAE, is an American ally. They get most of their weapons from America, and they're the ones carrying out the genocide in Sudan. This has nothing to do with terrorism, Art. Nothing to do with terrorism, nothing to do with nuclear weapons, nothing to do with democracy, nothing to do with protecting people's right to vote. This is about the white man controlling all the oil on the planet to make sure he does not lose his power. Follow the resources. Whenever you see a white country invade or bomb a non-white country, look and see what resources the non-white country has to offer. No war has ever been fought for freedom. No war has ever been fought for democracy. Wars are fought for resources.
Yeah, and that's sad. That's a shame because, of course, the propaganda machine puts it out that the war is for democracy. They're fighting for America's freedom. Right? That's what we always hear, that these soldiers are over there fighting for our freedoms. I say our, I'm not including black people because black people are not even free in this country that they're over there fighting for. It's all nonsensical. But it's not in the name of democracy and it is not in the name of freedom. How can it be? We're still not free. It's in the name of money. Millions of deaths, millions of people dead. Every war in this country has been about power and money. Hypocrites. Freaking shame. But okay, let me know what you think in the comments. That's Dr. Umar. Shout out to the art of the dialogue. Jay-Z, Beyonce, they are indeed in the Epstein files. Dr. Umar said that they should not have been in the Epstein files, or at least Jay-Z should not have been. But reverting back to what he said earlier in the interview, that Jay-Z owes a duty, internal reparations, and so does other black celebrities. for really the carnage that they've caused in the black community, and because of their wealth, that it is not sufficient for them to fund a couple of college tuitions and then say that they contributed to the black community. What say you? Is it that it's their money, they can do whatever they want to do with their money? They earned it, whether it's $1 billion, $1 million, $10 trillion, it's their money. They don't owe anyone anything, including the black community. Or do you agree with Dr. Umar that some of these celebrities, Kanye West, Dr. Dre, Oprah, Tyler Perry, etc., Rihanna, Beyonce, and Jay-Z should be contributing more to the black community? Just want to know your thoughts on it. Stay safe and stay free, people.